Hello everybody, what's up and welcome back. You're here with me, Shapeless, aka the Game Tamer, and today we're getting in it with Beckett. She was probably one of the first characters I actually tried in the game, and she's really good in my opinion. I wouldn't say that she's like amazing, but I mean, she's balanced. My word is balanced. Let's get right into it. We'll go ahead and explain her abilities once we get in here. Alright. What we got is your left-click machine pistols. Shoot from the current what requires ammo. Those are your basics. You just naturally reload, so you cannot actually just reload your weapon, like clicking R or anything will not help you. Grenade! Throws an explosive grenade. This is such. Bounces once, explodes after a time. Q! Switch between machine pistols and cannon. Alright, so you have your machine pistols. Now, you have a cannon! I believe there's a... It's only a slightly limited range. The AoE is not that big on it either. Like, it is decent, but it's not that big. Then we have E, which is your rocket boost jetpack.
Later, boys.
Yeah. Reduced falling speed for the time being, and you actually do believe I get 2 jumps. Alright, now we're going ahead with the ultimate, which is target an area on the ground. A series of 3 missiles is fired at that location. Alright, for the main left mouse click, we have gain more ammo, or changes attacks to burst fire. You build crit faster and have no spread or recoil. This one is very good. It is actually very good, in my opinion. The gain more ammo one is also nice, especially against tanks, because from this, you can go APM, which is gain 30% armor pen, or you can go close quarters, which is deal increased damage at close range. I would suggest going this way if you have people that are just sticking to you all the time, like a Woo, like a Trip, like people that are just going to be on top of you nonstop. But if they have multiple tanks, you go APM to get the armor pen in. Now, for Sharpshooter is the one that you want to take if you're able to just kind of get damage in. If they're running control mages and you're able to just lay down into them, by all means, go this order. You will see much more success with it. From it, you can go Tactical Shooter, which is deal extra damage from the back. Use this if you're kind of being like sneaky and you want to get around, or if you find yourself behind people often. I honestly don't like the ones that are like from the back, because I really only feel like people like Trip or Taito can really get use out of it because they're fast enough to do it. Or we have Painfully Accurate, which is gain plus 10% to crit damage, plus 30% total damage for critical hits, which is really nice, honestly. And honestly, would say my probably first pick would be Painfully Accurate. Alright, for grenade, we can make it so that it cracks armor or creates poison when areas when it bounces. Because it bounces once and then hits the ground, it creates 2. But I think that you can bounce it multiple times, and it can bounce off of multiple times. So let's try to like... Yeah, so it can bounce multiple times. So that one's actually really good as well. This creates negative 50% healing pools, which is really nice in like high healer potential comps. Then we have from Tear Gas. My stuff is there. We go. That was weird. From Tear Gas, we have Exhaust Fumes, which is using the jetpack reduces the grenade cooldown by 10 seconds, which is really nice. And we have Lingering Fumes, which poison areas last longer. These are both very good and very versatile uses. Then we have, from Cracked Troops, we have Explosion has a larger radius. Or we have Smart Grenade, which direct hits deal plus 100 damage and explode immediately. So it's just explosion on impact and deals damage on point. But it deals an extra 100 damage. You know what I'm saying? This is good if you want to go for, like, once again, damaging tanks, dealing with tanks, and dealing with multiple enemies at the same time. This one's much more against general compositions, because a lot of the times people do have lifesteal, or things of that nature. So using this to just kind of, you know, lower that in general is always a good way to go. I would honestly say, in my honest opinion, I would probably go, in my opinion, I would go crack troops into smart grenade, just because I like doing the damage when I can get it, and it still cracks the armor on anybody in the area. It's just direct hits, immediate explode, and do damage. So it gives you this ability to crack armor and do more damage from that, which in my opinion is more useful than creating a small poison area, especially if there's not a healer present, which a lot of the times there's really not. So let's go on to the Q. We have your cannon shots inflict burn on all enemies hit but have reduced range. Not bad. Another one you'd probably go if like people are going to be on top of you a lot. Or we have cannon shots move faster and have a longer range. So this is another one of those ones where you can build your cannon and your machine pistols to both benefit your whether or not someone's on top of you or someone's not. If you're roaming freely, go rocket booster, because rocket booster allows you to do other things. Or you can go flame cannon, which has more of a AoE impact like esque to it, and is better for like skirmishes where you're going to be closer. So from here we have blast radius, which cannon shots explode on impact, dealing area damage. There we go. Which is very good and does apply the burn to everybody. Or we have cannon shots pierce through enemies, burning all enemies hit. I honestly feel like blast radius is just better, because shooting through enemies, I feel, is a little bit more difficult to do than just hitting multiple enemies if they're just next to each other. So I would honestly go blast radius in this tier, just for that strict purpose. And the burn is definitely extra damage, and it keeps them in combat, so they can't regen health. So that's also really nice. From here we have fully loaded, which with full ammo, cannon deals plus 100 damage. Or we have arming time, which shots deal more damage the further they travel, up to 15%. It's not horrible, but it is really hard to hit those rockets from a good distance. So keep that in mind. If you've got the aim of freaking, like, you know, fucking Odin, then by all means, go near the bejesus out of people with your rockets. Rain hell upon their lives. But in my opinion, because I'm not the greatest shot and because I don't trust my aiming enough, I would go flame cannon into blast radius. It provides a lot of damage for the team, and especially with the cracked armor bomb, you have just this immense presence of being able to do damage to multiple people instead of just gunning down one guy. Now for the jetpack, we have Sprint E. Rocket dashes you forward, and then you can continue jetpacking afterwards. Or fuel capacity fly for 2 seconds longer. This one's really good because it allows you to kind of stay airborne and away from like all the pain that is, like, you know, assassins and tanks and stuff. So that's always good. We have can jump in the air one additional time, which is my personal favorite, because staying in the air with her is actually very satisfying, and it's very nice. It's really nice to kind of just stay above the fray instead of in it. Then we also have jet powered, which is while jetpacking, machine pistols deal plus 15% damage. If you don't need to be up in the air and you want to do more damage, especially with your burst fire or even just close quarters combat, by all means do it, because she does do a lot of damage. She will hit, and she will hit pretty hard. So go ahead for it. From Rocket Pack, we have Sprint E pushes enemies away from the start, which is good for, like, you know, if people are just going to sit on top of you and it doesn't matter how long you stay in the air, but you need to get people off of you immediately. E is a really good way to just kind of be like, boop, gotta dodge, I'm out of here. Or we have leaves a trail of fire on the ground on the start. It's not bad, but I would not take it in most situations. Mainly because usually you're going to have a control mage that can do that way better. So honestly, I would shy away from ignition switch, but if you want to light fire on fire, let the world burn, go right ahead. I am not going to judge you. My personal opinion is fuel capacity into up and away. but that is just my personal choice. For our tiers, we have Ready to Jet, which is your jetpack grants you 25 stamina. We have Outgunned, where your cannon, after switching weapons, basic attacks deal plus 7% damage for 3 seconds. Or we have Grenade, has a lower cooldown. Grenadier is my usual choice, just because having the extra grenade and the extra damage that I don't have to be using out of my ammo is always really nice. We have, for her ultimate, we have Will to Power, which is plus 10% damage and plus 10% damage reduction from the front after using your focus. And we have your left mouse button's crit chance builds faster. If you're using the burst fire option, I would suggest going precision, because it is very, very helpful to increase the amount of crit you can get and increase your damage output. Because going down the one route for the long range one, which was change attack to burst and then gain plus 10% crit damage up to 30% total crit damage, it's actually really good with that, mainly because once you get to that crit point, you stay at that crit point, so you're just doing a lot of crit damage, and it really works out. It's very magnifique. Then we have En Garde, which is En Garde, which is plus 20% front damage reduction while attacking. Really nice, really helpful for her to stay alive in general. Or we have plus 10% damage reduction from the back and plus 10% damage from behind. So we're doing more damage from the back and taking less damage from the back. Once again, not necessarily something I would take. Mainly just because I prefer En Garde, because it is that extra bit of, like, you know, stay away from me. Now, if you're playing this on console, however, it might be something totally different. You might find yourself not able to turn around as quickly as somebody like on a mouse or something like that. So the back damage reduction might be nice for you, and it might be helpful to do that extra damage from behind. So honestly, for Xbox or PS4 players, I don't know, but I think that might be better for you. But it's all up to choice. Now, from Will to Power, we have plus 15% focus gain, which is always good to get more focuses off. Or we have Supreme Will, which is 100% crit chance and plus 100 stamina when you use focus. If you're building focus very quickly, and you find yourself building focus quickly, go this route. Because the Supreme Will make it so that your burst fire doesn't have to be burst fire. And this is very good for those close situations where you're building focus quickly because you're in the fight, and now you're just dumping ammo into people. So now you have this extra crit chance, so now you're just dumping crits into people. It's really good, it really works out. That's the way that I would go if you want to go the shorter range build, for sure. But I do believe that is going to be it for this round, guys. Beckett is a lot of tried and true stuff, just kind of do what you want to do. But I mean, honestly, she's very much a choice-based character. She's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun to just kind of, you know, mess around with, be a problem for people. Also, fun little thing. If you're shooting and you use your Q, your next ammo will be up. So you could just kind of like jump through this, switch back. Now you got 3 rockets. Usually by the time that you're done with the rockets, you can do this again and rinse and repeat. She's once again, like I said, she's really good. That's another little funny little like quirky reload trick that you could do. Dump an entire clip, switch up 1, 2, 3 to shoot better, cue it out, boom, I already got a full clip again. And that's about it, guys. That's really all the fun that I can teach you guys with good old Beckett here. Just get into some matches, try her out, she's a ton of fun. But once again, and as always, guys, don't forget to whip that like and sub button into shape for me. And as always, stay tame. I'm going to try to do the same, and I will see you in the next one.